here we are again, folks. Welcome to another episode of Old Head Bangers Ball. You see, I put a little distinction in between the two. So if anyone ever comes to me and says, you can't use the name Headbangers Ball, and I'll be like, I'm not using the name Headbangers Ball. I'm Old Head. I'm using the name Bangers Ball. Get it? Get it? They won't care. So anyway, yes, that's the show that you're watching, Old Head Bangers Ball. If this is your first time, welcome. We on this show, we watch music videos from the heyday of the Headbangers Ball on MTV around 1987 to around 1994. I throw some videos at you. We talk about it. We laugh. We dance. We drink. And we have a fucking blast. So welcome back, or welcome, yes, one of those two. Tonight, it's a special episode because this is the first ever theme episode of Old Head Bangers Ball. Normally, I have, as some of you have figured out, I have, a certain type of video I play in each segment of the show. But we're not doing that tonight because I came up with a theme and it's pretty fun, so let's do it. Tonight's theme is The Other Singer. Anybody have any ideas? I'll just jump right into it. What we're going to be doing tonight is watching. That's the word I use on here if you don't know. Watching. I coined that phrase. If you hear anybody else using that term, they fucking stole it from me. Watching music videos from bands where the singer is not the original or most well-known vocalist of the band, where the band had somebody else singing. And for people who are old school fans of the band, they would probably refer to the vocalist in these songs as the other singer. So let's get it started. So not only is this an other singer video, this is also a little bit of a tribute to a fallen guitar hero, Mr. Eddie Van Halen, who just passed away a few days back when I'm recording this video. And it's a big loss to the, not just rock and roll, just music in general, huge loss. And so the first video tonight is going to be from the album For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, or Fuck. Yes, Van Halen. This album is from 1991. It is the 9th album by Van Halen, but the 3rd album to feature the vocalist Sammy Hagar, who is probably one of the best examples of somebody replacing an iconic singer and still having success. But those of you who are like me, who prefer the David Lee Roth era of Van Halen, Sammy Hagar is referred to as the other singer. There is another other singer, but we won't go into that. So the video we're going to be watching tonight is for the song Pound Cake. So get ready to have your ears rocked by Eddie Van Halen. I mean, an unparalleled guitar god, and he will be missed by everyone. So let's go ahead and jump into this shit. Let's go ahead and do this Pound Cake.
Girls made of? What are little girls made of? With sugar and spice and everything nice. That's what little girls are made of.
Rock and roll music video crime number 1. If you're about to go into a song that has a lot to do with fucking a lady, let's not start it off with a child. Okay? That is a trope of 80s and I guess at this point early 90s rock music videos that I am glad is fucking gone, because how awkward is that? This is not a song about girls growing up and being amazing women. This is about finding a lady that you really want to fuck. So let's keep that in mind, folks. So before the vocals even start from the other singer, they have always been such a great sounding band. I mean, the fucking rhythms, aside from Eddie Van Halen, the rhythm section, and I don't know. It's literally just, they're one of those bands that I don't think they ever sounded bad ever, and that's pretty awesome. This song's a fucking rocker too. I mean, you gotta admit, it's pretty great. Lyrically, it's but I guess Van Halen was never a very deep band. So let's start. I like, sorry, I interrupted this moment. In this particular song, I always liked on the verses how Eddie Van Halen is just playing harmonics on the guitar. I don't know, any group that's ever done that for a part of a song, I don't know why I always dig it. It's always like a cool little idea for a song. Eddie Van Halen's not the first person to do it, but I like that about this, because I mean, he's an amazing guitar player, so he could literally, every single song could just be him going wheelie 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 wheelie. But he had other ideas too. He wasn't a one note kind of guy. All right, let's continue with this moment. I mean, this is a fucking great song. I mean, the lyrics don't make a whole lot of sense if you really like dig into it, because I think that happens with a lot of rock songs, is that they have an idea of what they're singing about, but lyrically they just try to find words that sound sexy together. And so it's like I guess the point of the song is that he's looking for a woman that is sexy, but also he can love her too, because he's tired of just having sex with women. I don't know. The pound cake thing, I don't really get that part, and she also cooks. I don't know. That's the whole package, folks, I guess. Let's continue. This also seemed like a really big thing in late 80s and early 90s music videos, not just rock, I don't think, where it was always like some small town person, some simpleton who's so shocked at the sexuality of these women. Look at these wild women. Look how sexy they are. There are so many videos. There's probably around this time, there's probably at least 4 or 5 dozen videos where the premise of it is something shockingly sexy going on. And this is one of them. I feel like I'm making fun of this more than I am enjoying it, because I really do like this song. And this is actually, it's funny because I remember when this came out, I thought this song was amazing, and I immediately went and bought the cassette of this album, and I listened to it like over and over again. I was like, oh, there's so many fucking great songs on here. And then 4 or 5 months later, Nirvana's Nevermind came out, and I'm all like, Van who? So, I mean, they still had success. They weren't one of the bands that got nailed by the grunge thing. But it's interesting. This was out, and then you blink your eyes, and everyone's wearing flannels. Although Sammy Hagar seems to be wearing flannel pants in this, so maybe he was a forward-thinking kind of dude. Why do these ladies have power tools? I swear all these videos are just dreamed up by really horny, perverted, 50-year-old record executive guys. They're just like, she's a small town girl. She shows up. She's not ready for this sexuality. And these women all of a sudden start putting together power tools. And then they drill through the door. It'll be sexy. And he has a cigar in his mouth. We know what's sexy over here at Sexy Records. Sorry. All right. I had forgotten about the inappropriate child in the video, and so they had to remind me. So there you go. Pound Cake by Van Halen. Rest in peace, Eddie Van Halen. Yeah, it's pretty amazing because especially with this album, they had like a crazy success. I mean, I guess it's one of those things that you can never assume that a band replacing an iconic frontman and singer is going to be a failure, because in this case it wasn't. There are other cases too. So yeah, thank you for joining me for the first of our themed episode, The Other Singer. Let's move on to the second video of the night. All right, so let's keep this shit rolling. Next up, we're going to be watching a music video from this album, the self-titled Motley Crue album from 1994, the one and only Motley Crue album to feature the vocalist John Corabi. So unlike the Van Halen video that we just watched, this one was a case of a band replacing a frontman and singer, and it wasn't well received. The album didn't do very well, and a couple years later, Vince Neil came back into the fold, and there you go. This album is an album that some people speak highly of, but I think a lot of people either hate it or they just don't give it a good shot. I think it's a pretty good album. It's very 90s, but it's got some good shit on it. And John Corabi's a good vocalist. And this particular song we're going to be watching, Hooligan's Holiday, to me is a really good song. And I even remember when this video premiered on Headbangers Ball, and I was thinking to myself, they're going to fucking do it. They're going to be a popular band with this new vocalist, because the song's good. The vibe of the video it just gives off a vibe of like, these dudes can't be stopped. They're just forging ahead. And I was pulling for them really, but it didn't go that well. But I guess the rest of their story ended up pretty well. So let's go ahead and jump into Hooligan's Holiday. So clearly there's a little bit of a Clockwork Orange kind of thing going on in this video. I don't really get it. That is a movie where the characters have been romanticized in a way where I'm just like, did you not watch that movie? Because they weren't good guys. That's not a thing where you're supposed to be like, we're badass just like those Clockwork Orange guys. Watch the movie again. But yeah, it's a cool video though. The whole vibe of the video is cool. The song has a great groove to it, and it's, I don't know, maybe it's the distance now that we have between us here in 2020 and 1994, because maybe in 1994 this seemed too 90s. Like Motley Crue, girls, all of a sudden jumping off to this. I guess I could see why people thought it was shit, but I don't know. It's good. I don't know. I'm glad I've had the time with it, because I appreciate it a lot more than I think a lot of people do. Let's keep going. I gotta get away. Hooligan's Holiday. We're on a holiday. Hooligan, yeah. Just there, let's come in. I am horse between her legs. also, it is undeniable that John Corabi is a way better singer than Vince Neil. But I guess with Vince Neil, the thing you can say about him, I guess kind of like David Lee Roth, that neither one of them was an amazing vocalist, but they both had unique qualities to their vocals that made them stand out. Like, I don't know anyone else that sings like David Lee Roth or anyone else that sings like Vince Neil. So I guess that's something that was an asset to the band, because as good as John Corabi is, I don't know if he has that memorable of a voice. He's just a really good singer. So maybe that was it. We can analyze this all night long. Let's just enjoy the fucking song. Okay. So the words flashing on the screen, there's a part of me that wonders how much meaning there actually is behind all of this shit, or if it was just like, this would be cool here. It's like, I haven't paid closely enough attention to all of the words and things that go up on the screen during this video to really see if it's some sort of cohesive message, because if it's any indication from the Clockwork Orange dudes, there wasn't a whole lot of thought put into this. It was just like, these images look cool, we'll make the film look all old and scratched up here, and there's gonna be some clips from the news, and there's gonna be these dudes, and it just, maybe that's why it failed. How many reasons have we pinpointed why this failed? Four arms connected as one, because they were a group that was not going to be deterred. I just said turd. And they were deterred because the John Corabi had to get the fuck out in a couple years. So, but I like that song. I liked it then. I like it now. It's got a cool vibe. Half of the album is that good. The other half, little iffy. But all right, that's the second song in our theme. We're going to get on to the third song in our themed show right after this message. That was a cool commercial for a cool album. A cool album that has an other singer in it. Maybe we should watch a video from that. We are. We're going to be listening, watching a song from this album, The Sound of White Noise from Anthrax, the first album with singer John Bush. Which he did 4 albums with Anthrax, but obviously for those of you who are awesome and already know, the not the original but the most well-known vocalist from the heyday of Anthrax was Joey Belladonna, and then he was replaced by John Bush. This album came out in 1993. We're going to be watching the video for the song Only, which was the first song we got to hear from this incarnation of Anthrax, and at this fucking point in time, I was a huge Anthrax fan. I still am, but that's when it had first kicked in. I got into them with State of Euphoria, and then once Persistence of Time and Attack of the Killer Bees and all that stuff had happened, I was so into this band. And when they announced that they replaced Joey Belladonna, I remember that I was a little bit like, that kind of sucks, but I guess they know what they're doing. And so when this video premiered, I was ready. And if I remember right, I was watching Headbangers Ball. I had a fucking VHS in the goddamn VCR recording it because I'm like, I want to be able to watch this over and over again, the new song from one of my favorite bands. And to be honest, it fucking kills. And I thought it did back then. I was so like, all right, I ain't worried about this shit anymore. Now, I'm more of a Joey Belladonna fan. The Sound of White Noise is the only John Bush album that I hold up high with all of the other OG Anthrax stuff that I love. They didn't do a bad album with John Bush, and John Bush, much like John Corabi, great singer. So not a whole lot of gripes there, but Only is such a fucking great song. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Let's just fucking do it. it is so well done that it has aged remarkably well to me. This song never gets old to me. I still listen to it and I think to myself, everything in this album, the performances are great, the songwriting is great. I like the production on this album because it sounds different enough, but it still has kind of a big quality to it. And so I did a podcast episode, the Old Head podcast, last year at some point, where I talked about a lot of these albums. I talked about the Motley Crue. I talked about this one. I talked about the first Iron Maiden album with that one guy, Blaze Bayley. and I talked about the Van Halen album, actually, that has Gary Cherone on it. And I talked about the pros and cons of these albums and what worked and what didn't work. And with the Anthrax one, it's, to me, out of all of those 80s rock bands, metal bands, thrash bands, like, this is one of the best examples of a band shifting over into the 90s and changing things up, and it fucking works. Like, does it sound like old school Anthrax? There's a little bit of it in there, but I don't care. And yeah, I like this era of Anthrax. I'll talk about Anthrax all fucking day to you people, but this is just such a fucking great song. That's why I didn't even say a word through the whole verse and chorus. Now let's keep going.
Classic ways to live here. Compromise for me. Yeah. I'm at both ends of the spectrum. You're somewhere in the between. I come clean. Revolve around yourself. It's you and no one else. All for me to stay. Swinging boots and teeth.
And I even love this video. It just, I don't know what it is about it. It's just it's got its little like 90s kind of things here and there, but the majority of it, I just think it's really interesting to watch. It's a great, the band's just playing in a room, but they managed to do it in this way with the camera revolving around them and then us looking at them through mirror reflections and stuff. This is just the total package here. Can you tell I like this? A little bit.
Don't miss till the red. Unpredictable. Unpredictable. You would see it only. You had it taking things out of my hands. Only. You never wanted to understand.
Mr. Dan Spitz on lead guitar. I stopped there right in the middle of his solo, then we'll get back to the rest of it. The last album with Dan Spitz on lead guitar, although he did help write some of the next album, but I don't think he plays on it at all. Dan Spitz is now a watchmaker and apparently like one of the best in the fucking world. There's an Instagram, you can follow him and you get to watch him do his fucking thing. He's a guy that bowed out of doing music because he had a family and he wanted to just do something else. And I miss him in this band a lot, but kudos to him for leaving something that, in my opinion, is fucking amazing and then entering something else that is pretty goddamn amazing on its own. So let's listen to the second half of Dan Spitz's amazing guitar solo. Here you go. Was that the best usage of the wah pedal ever? That just sounds so sweet right there. I mean, Kirk Hammett should take note here. That's how you do it. Kirk's good. I don't have to say that. Hell yeah. Hell fucking yeah. I mean, any Anthrax is good Anthrax. So, I mean, I'm happy with that. But, man, that is a great song. That is a great album. And that is our third in our themed episode called The Other Singer. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry that I took a little bit of a break from my normal sort of schedule, and we didn't really spend any time in the 80s. It was all 90s today. But I mean, this is my 19th episode. Holy shit. So, you know, it's time to change it up every once in a while. So I hope you're okay with that. And feel free to comment down below what you thought. Out of these three other singers, who's your favorite out of the three? Yeah. I mean, I can't thank you enough for continuing to watch. Next up will be the 20th episode. Maybe I should do something special for the 20th episode. I don't know what I can do. Do you guys have ideas? What can I do for the 20th episode of Old Head Bangers Ball? If you're talking to your friends about the show, make sure that you leave that space in the middle so they'll know that I'm not ripping anybody off anyway. So I don't know why I'm worried about that now. So yeah, that's it for this episode of Old Head Bangers Ball. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you all again next Saturday night.